Hello, welcome to Trump 47 Watch, the war on the deep state. Today is April the 15th, 2025. Happy federal tax filing date. I'm Merrick Masters, Professor Emeritus, commentator, and podcaster. President Trump is waging war on the deep state, attacking the footprint of government in bureaucracy, spending and contracting, regulation, and real estate. It is unparalleled executive action to manage the federal bureaucracy from probationary employees to agency employees. The topics we'll review today are firing probationary employees, reductions in force, funding cancellations, and dismissal of agency appointees by President Trump. The caveat here is that there is no singular source of up-to-date information on actions taken across agencies. You have to pull together this information from various sources, some of which are not objectively verified. But nonetheless, I've attempted to provide with you the most recent data available on the status of executive action in these areas. The U.S. federal government, according to the Department of Government Efficiency, the executive branch of the federal government includes more than 2.2 million civilian employees. This excludes the Postal Service. And total wages are about $211 billion. Compensation is much more than that if you include benefits. DOGE estimates that, or not DOGE, but other entities estimate that there are about 200,000 probationary employees in the federal workforce. These are employees who have less than 1 year of seniority in the federal workforce, and they are more vulnerable to firings. The selected firings of federal employees from this source from government executive amount at this point in time to more than 22,000 such employees. These terminations are in various states of judicial review. Federal agencies are under a mandate from the Trump administration to prepare reductions in force plans in which they can reduce the size of their overall employment footprint. Reports indicate, and these are compiled in a report produced in Government Executive, that about 180,000 plus federal workers have been identified for reductions in force. Agencies are updating their plans with the Office of Personnel Management and the Office of Management and Budget, which will detail in full scope the extent of the reductions in force planned, which will be greater than this total of 180,000 in number. The guidance on RIFs issued on February 26, 2025 by a joint memorandum from the Office of Personnel Management and the Office of Management and Budget by their directors states that agencies should submit phase 2 of the reduction in force plans to those respective agencies, OPM and OMB, by April the 14th, that was yesterday, 2025. These plans should include all reductions, including full-time equivalent positions, term and temporary positions, reemployed annuitants, the real estate footprint, and contracts that will occur in relation to reductions in force. It will be interesting to see when these plans are disclosed exactly the extent to which reductions are anticipated. The Department of Government Efficiency has estimated that there have been savings of $150 billion through its efforts to identify fraud, waste, and abuse in the federal sector. I should note that some of these numbers are disputed by outside observers, including one on the website muskwatch.com that you can go to see for another source of information on the extent to which cuts have actually been made. But nonetheless, these data are available on DOJ's website, and the details are specified on that website for your review. Selected federal agencies where Trump has dismissed Biden employees. This is just a partial list. The National Labor Relations Board, the Federal Labor Relations Authority, the Federal Service Impasses Panel, the Office of Special Counsel, which is allied with the Merit Systems Protection Board, Inspectors General of 17 different federal agencies and departments, U.S. attorneys appointed by Biden, and 2 commissioners of the Federal Trade Commission. These presidential appointees have been terminated by President Trump. Trump's actions in these areas, as well as others, have been subjected to a variety of legal challenges. There are nearly 200 such challenges pending. You can go to the website Just Security for a tracker on these legal challenges. Federal judges at various levels have made conflicting decisions on whether to restrain or allow these actions to proceed. This means that ultimately the U.S. Supreme Court will have to determine the scope of executive power regarding the management of the federal workforce, canceling or clawing back federal contracts and spending, and dismissing agency appointees without cause. Trump is pushing executive power to the ultimate to reverse the limitations imposed in retaliation against Richard Nixon. I would say that while these legal challenges are phrased in various terms of constitutional and other legalisms, the fundamental question is basically a political one, which will have to be decided, and I think the role of opinion on the part of the American public will play a great part in determining this question. This is a little bit of information about me, where you can go to find other updates on the Trump 47 administration as applies to the federal sector and presidential executive power. Thank you for joining me today, and have a good day.